Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The region of the body of a vertebrate between the thorax and the pelvis. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. An enlarged and muscular sac-like organ of the alimentary canal, the principal organ of digestion. An appetite for food. Exercise gave him a good stomach for dinner. An inclination or liking for things involving conflict or difficulty or unpleasantness. He had no stomach for a fight. Bear to eat. He cannot stomach raw fish. The cavity containing the major viscera. In mammals it is separated from the thorax by the diaphragm. The region of the body of a vertebrate between the thorax and the pelvis. The region of the body of a vertebrate between the thorax and the pelvis. Swell out or bulge out. A protruding abdomen. A part that bulges deeply. The belly of a sail. The hollow inside of something. In the belly of the ship. The underpart of the body of certain vertebrates such as snakes or fish. The region of the body of a vertebrate between the thorax and the pelvis. A bulging body part, as the belly of a mussel. A speaker who expresses or gives vent to a personal opinion or grievance. The womb. Inventor is legal terminology for conceived but not yet born. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Dwell. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. I cannot bear his constant criticism. Have on one's person. Bear a scar. Bring forth. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. She agreed to bear the responsibility. Behave in a certain manner. Cause to be born. Have rightfully. Of rights, titles, and offices. She bears the title of Duchess. Contain or hold. Have within. Bring in. Interest-bearing accounts. Support or hold in a certain manner. Be pregnant with. She is bearing his child. An investor with a pessimistic market outlook. An investor who expects prices to fall and so sells now in order to buy later at a lower price. Have. Bear a resemblance. Massive plantigrade carnivorous or omnivorous mammals with long shaggy coats and strong claws. Move while holding up or supporting. Bear a heavy load. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A natural stream of water smaller than a river, and often a tributary of a river. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Make more concise. Something that is compiled, as into a single book or file. A periodical that summarizes the news. Arrange and integrate in the mind. I cannot digest all this information. Become assimilated into the body. Protein digests in a few hours. Convert food into absorbable substances. I cannot digest milk products. Soften or disintegrate, as by undergoing exposure to heat or moisture. Soften or disintegrate by means of chemical action, heat, or moisture. Systematize, as by classifying and summarizing. The government digested the entire law into a code. Persist for a specified period of time. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. The new secretary had to endure a lot of unprofessional remarks. Continue to live and avoid dying. Undergo or be subjected to. Face and withstand with courage. Continue to exist. The Legend of Elvis and Durs. Last and be usable. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Provide housing for. Provide. The city has to put up half the required amount. Place so as to be noticed. Mount or put up. Put up a good fight. Construct, build, or erect. Propose as a candidate for some honor. Preserve in a can or tin. Make available for sale at an auction. The dealer put up 3 of his most valuable paintings for auction. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A support or foundation. An interruption of normal activity. A booth where articles are displayed for sale. A platform where a brass band can play in the open air. Hold one's ground. Maintain a position. Be steadfast or upright. I am standing my ground and won't give in. A support for displaying various articles. A mental position from which things are viewed. Withstand the force of something. Stand the test of time. Put into an upright position. Can you stand the bookshelf up? Be standing. Be upright. We had to stand for the entire performance. A defensive effort. The army made a final stand at the Rhone. A growth of similar plants, usually trees, in a particular area. They cut down a stand of trees. A small table for holding articles of various kinds. A bedside stand. A stop made by a touring musical or theatrical group to give a performance. A one-night stand. Be available for stud services. Be in effect. Be or remain in force. The law stands. Be in some specified state or condition. I stand corrected. Be tall. Have a height of, copula. She stands 6 feet tall. Have or maintain a position or stand on an issue. Where do you stand on the war? Occupy a place or location, also metaphorically. We stand on common ground. Remain inactive or immobile. Standing water. The position where a thing or person stands. Tiered seats consisting of a structure, often made of wood, where people can sit to watch an event, game or parade. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Extend out or project in space. Be highly noticeable. Feel physical pain. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. She suffered a fracture in the accident. Be set at a disadvantage. This author really suffers in translation. Feel pain or be in pain. Undergo or suffer. Suffer a terrible fate. Undergo or be subjected to. He suffered the penalty. Be given to. She suffers from a tendency to talk too much. Experience emotional pain. Every time her husband gets drunk, she suffers. Feel unwell or uncomfortable. She is suffering from the hot weather. Get worse. His grades suffered. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. He learned to tolerate the heat. Allow the presence of or allow an activity, without opposing or prohibiting. We cannot tolerate smoking in the hospital. Have a tolerance for a poison or strong drug or pathogen or environmental condition. The patient does not tolerate the anti-inflammatory drugs we gave him. Recognize and respect rights and beliefs of others. We must tolerate the religions of others. An enlarged and muscular sac-like organ of the alimentary canal, the principal organ of digestion. A basket for serving bread. A geographic region serving as the principal source of grain. An enlarged and muscular sac-like organ of the alimentary canal, the principal organ of digestion. Slang for a paunch. An enlarged and muscular sac-like organ of the alimentary canal, the principal organ of digestion. Any part of an organism such as an organ or extremity. Grant use or occupation of under a term of contract. A brutal terrorist group active in Kashmir fights against India with the goal of restoring Islamic rule of India. Make it possible through a specific action or lack of action for something to happen. A serve that strikes the net before falling into the receiver's court. The ball must be served again. Consent to, give permission. I won't let the police search her basement. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. This let me in for a big surprise. Actively cause something to happen. I let it be known that I was not interested. Leave unchanged. Let it be. Give or assign a resource to a particular person or cause. Make it possible through a specific action or lack of action for something to happen. This sealed door won't allow the water come into the basement. Allow or plan for a certain possibility. Concede the truth or validity of something. I allow for this possibility. Let have. Mandela was allowed few visitors in prison. Allow the presence of or allow an activity, without opposing or prohibiting. We don't allow dogs here. Consent to, give permission. I cannot allow you to see your exam. Allow the other, baseball team to score. Afford possibility. This short story allows of several different interpretations. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. The evidence allows only one conclusion. Grant as a discount or in exchange. The camera store owner allowed me $50 on my old camera. The appearance conveyed by a person's face. A pleasant countenance. The human face, kisser, and smiler, and mug, are informal terms for face, and fizz is British. Formal and explicit approval. Consent to, give permission. Make it possible through a specific action or lack of action for something to happen. This permits the water to rush in. Allow the presence of or allow an activity, without opposing or prohibiting. Children are not permitted beyond this point. Consent to, give permission. She permitted her son to visit her estranged husband. The act of giving a formal, usually written, authorization. Large game fish, found in waters of the West Indies. A legal document giving official permission to do something. A main organ that is situated inside the body. A main organ that is situated inside the body. A feeling of craving something. A feeling of craving something. An appetite for life. A feeling of craving something. Geometry. The angle formed by the x-axis and a given line, measured counterclockwise from the positive half of the x-axis. An attitude of mind, especially one that favors one alternative over others. He had an inclination to give up too easily. Astronomy. The angle between the plane of the orbit and the plane of the ecliptic stated in degrees. The property possessed by a line or surface that departs from the vertical. He walked with a heavy inclination to the right. A characteristic likelihood of or natural disposition toward a certain condition or character or effect. The alkaline inclination of the local waters. Physics. The angle that a magnetic needle makes with the plane of the horizon. The act of inclining, bending forward. An inclination of his head indicated his agreement. That toward which you are inclined to feel a liking. Her inclination is for classical music. The soft belly or underside of an animal's body. The soft belly or underside of an animal's body. Lower side. The quality of being weak or unprotected. The soft underbelly of the axis.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.